recently the Skoda India Instagram account got hacked.
Yeah.
That was the googly, right?
And in my 50 years of being awake, I have never heard car prices going down. The Kylaq now starts at 7.54.
Skoda and service. It's still a big work in progress.
I've told you so much, yaar.
Welcome to the Evo India podcast. This week, we have Ashish Gupta back in the studio with us. Ashish Gupta, brand director at Skoda Auto India. And Ashish is here to talk a little bit about the first 100 days helming Skoda in India. But more importantly, for us enthusiasts, we are the Evo India channel. We talk about the thrill of driving, and what better from the thrill of driving aspect than the Octavia RS, which is launching very soon in a matter of weeks. So in this podcast, we're going to talk about what Ashish has put in place with the first 100 days of Skoda, GST 2.0, all the talk about car sales, the new reinvigoration of car sales, and of course, all the plans for the Octavia RS. So Ashish, talk to us about the Octavia RS.
No, I think what is there to talk about the Octavia RS? The name is enough. Naam hi kafi hai.
Chalo, chalte fir. Ashish, it's 100 days that you've been at the helm of Skoda India. What's it been like?
No, I think a lot of learning, a lot of things, I wouldn't say set right, but align within the team, with the dealers. So very exciting times, actually. Yeah.
Obviously, the first, at least the month, would be understanding what Skoda is doing, what you're doing right, what you're probably not doing wrong. What areas of immediate action did you identify?
No, I think, everything moves so fast, Sirish. It is sometimes very difficult to get your head around, what to attack first, what to, tackle first, what is the first priority, what is your priority list, because everything is a priority because you're actually sitting on top of a running business, I remember when I joined in the first week of May or second week of May, actually that was the peak time when we were just launching the Kylaq, and Kylaq was, the talk of the town. So just getting to know the product itself, first of all, making sure that the targets which were running were being achieved was the big priority right now at that time. But I would also say that, over the last 3 or 4 months, it's been about, getting a direction into the team. I think the most important thing was that we were doing a lot, but getting a structure around it, getting a direction around it, getting, first of all, my internal team aligned to that direction, and then also getting the dealers on board. I think these have been some of the priorities for the last 3-4 months.
So what is the direction for Skoda in India?
No, I think, in the first month itself, we sat down and defined our strategy on 3 pillars of relevance, differentiation, and trust, so that at least we have a framework what to work on. Relevance, because now we are the 7th largest brand in India, so we are much more relevant in terms of what happens in the automobile industry. We are in a position to influence consumer behavior to some extent now. With that in mind, we started our automatic campaign, and the results have been fantastic. Within 2 months of that automatic campaign, actually moved our mix by almost 5 to 7% towards automatic, which is a very big shift. So that's something which also gave a lot of confidence to the team that we are in the right direction. Then working on differentiation, and I think the biggest focus on differentiation was on the communication language we use. Recently you would have also seen our Doda film, which is getting a lot of love. Also focusing a lot on how do we differentiate ourselves regionally. How do you get into regional languages? How do you culturally connect with the new territories we are going into? And building trust, I think, sticking to the promises you have made. So these are things which have, shown proof points to the team and to the dealers over the last 3 or 4 months. So gives a lot of confidence that you're on the right track and you can build on that success.
So we'll talk about automatics in a bit, but you also talked about differentiating. Now, differentiating against whom? Your in-house cousins or against the wider market?
No, I think differentiation is a very wide word, but differentiation in every sense. Differentiation in the way your products are. We are quintessentially European. We have to stand true to our DNA. Skoda is celebrating 130 years of legacy. How many automotive brands in this world can claim a legacy of 130 years? Incidentally, in the first week of September, I was in Prague, where we had this huge celebration on 130 years. And it's such a proud legacy for the Czech Republic people and the entire team who's associated with the Skoda brand. So I think staying true to your legacy, taking that forward, taking that European engineering background forward is a very big lever in differentiating yourself. Yeah?
Okay.
That's on the product side. Then as I said, on the communication side, how do you stand out in the clutter that is all around you? Everybody is trying to shout out the loudest that their brand is the best. But, how do you culturally connect with people, you are now trying to appeal to with the Kylaq, especially hitting the road. We are going deeper into the market. We have to be sensitive to religious and regional sensitivities. We have to make sure that we speak in their language. So getting that change done in our communication also is a way to differentiate. So also just in the way you conduct yourself. Yeah. So I think that is something which was very dear to me. That in every interaction with, whether it is with partners, whether it is with friends like you, whether it is with our customers, we conduct ourselves with integrity, and we conduct ourselves in the way that behoves a brand with a 130 years legacy. So I think that is another way of differentiating yourself.
I like the fact that you talked about legacy, and that's what we are here to talk about. Your legacy of performance cars.
Yeah.
The Octavia RS, that to me was the first turbo petrol car that I ever drove. The first turbo petrol car that a lot of Indians actually experienced. The first sporty car, and the RS, that was the first sporty sub-brand in the country. And now you're bringing back the Octavia RS. What do you have in stock?
No, I think, we spoke about it, Sirish, when we had our last podcast together, that, along with going into the mass market with the Kylaq, we also need to keep the legacy of the brand alive, and with that in mind, the Octavia was the first choice. Octavia is what established the brand in India. Incidentally, we are also celebrating 25 years of Skoda in India this year, which is a big occasion for us. Again, how many foreign brands can claim that kind of a legacy? True. And what better to celebrate 25 years than 25 years of Octavia in India? Yeah. And when you say Octavia, on top of that, the RS, which in itself is has a cult following, is an icon. So bring that back to celebrate our legacy of 130 years and 25 years in India.
So how are you going to bring it back? What are you going to be doing? How are you going to target the car?
No, I think, it's a car which I told my team that if you have to sell it, then you've lost it. Yeah, because I don't think this car needs to be sold. It needs to be loved. It needs to be loved in the way you treat that car, not only physically, but also in the way you present it to customers, the way you get interest into that car. So you're going to see a very, very different kind of a campaign from our side. It's not going to be a massy campaign. This car is not a massy car anyway, the Octavia RS. So it is for the purists, it is for the enthusiasts, and that is how we want to treat it. But having said that, I'm sure that a lot of people who don't get a chance to lay their hands on it are going to have a heartbreak. And I'm just giving you a lead in into how we are positioning this car, how we are going to approach this car, and we will also do something for the people who have a heartbreak.
You obviously have close experience of this segment. After all, before you joined Skoda, you did launch the Golf GTI, and that was the last car you launched at Volkswagen before taking over the reins at Skoda India. What is this customer base like?
No, I think, I'm also surprised because, on the face of it, when you look at it, these are not, rational purchases, to be honest. Yeah. So, but having said that, when I experienced the Golf GTI, or for that matter, the Octavia RS on the track, it's a different feeling, and the only parallel I can draw, Sirish, is that, just recently watched F1. You're flying. You are in that zone. And that's a different, is a surreal experience, actually. And people who have experienced that kind of a surreality, it's very difficult to put into words.
We have a lot of these grumbling uncles in the country who say, where are the roads to drive these cars? What would you tell them?
No, I think, these cars are about passion. It's not necessary that you'll be driving these at 250 kilometers per hour every day. Most probably you'll be driving it on the potholed roads of Mumbai and Pune. But at the end of the day, life is about having the option to do so if you wish to. Yeah, and I think that's the ultimate craving that a human being has, to have the option to do what I want to.
The Octavia RS, it established such a cult following because it also offered great value for money.
Yep.
the package that you were getting the RS at was unmatched. Now, obviously, with times, everything changes. The Octavia RS won't be all that aggressively priced as its forebearers.
No, again, as I said, what is the price of having your hand on that surreal experience? What is the price of having that option to go at 250 kilometers per hour when you want to? So I think that is invaluable. And people who buy these cars, know that it is invaluable.
And of course, with the Octavia RS, you have a very strong brand. In fact, a stronger brand than the Golf GTI. The Golf GTI, it was the first of its kind coming to India and also the first hatchback.
Yeah.
Whereas with the sedan body style, we are still associated with that. Performance is still associated with sedans.
Yeah.
Octavia RS, the name is well established. The fan community, have you interacted with the fans of the Octavia RS?
Not yet, and I'm looking forward to meeting that community. In fact, my team has been asking me to meet up with these clubs, but I'm slightly holding myself back because I know what they're going to request next. So I want to have an answer before I meet them and commit something more.
So before they ask you the question, I'll ask you the question. Are you going to assemble it here?
No, it's a fully built unit. So it's imported from Europe. It is a UK spec car.
What is the challenge in local assembly?
No, I think, Sirish, we have spoken about it many times. I think it's just the cost base. The cost base of getting the car from Europe and assembling it here is so high that beyond a point you will not get volumes out of it. And for any local assembly operation, you need a minimum volume to be able to have a business case.
The enthusiast community all these years. Now you've had the Octavia RS locally assembled. Yeah. The last Octavia RS wasn't, but you always had the Octavia RS locally assembled. Hasn't the community grown, the market grown enough to do local assembly, or not yet?
No, it may have, and it has. If you look at it, the amount of performance cars being launched in India by virtually every brand has, if you put them together, the market surely has grown. But has it grown to a size where you can continue to sell these cars at the price points that you're now asked to or forced to sell these cars at? So we have done our calculations. It does not make business sense.
Why hasn't it grown?
In what sense?
The market. Why haven't volumes picked up in a sense that you and other manufacturers will then be compelled to assemble it over here? What is holding the market back?
That's a very existential question, Sirish, and for that, for me to answer that, we will have to go into the dynamics of the economy. I think, if you look at it, it's again a very, very niche market, performance cars as such. For the simple reason that you just spoke about, where are you going to drive it? So the community, especially with the kind of infrastructure we have, with the kind of roads we have, with the kind of safety non-awareness that we have in our community, there will always be a limited number of enthusiasts who will go for such cars. Always will be.
So I give an example of the BMW, the M340i. That is locally assembled. It is the most powerful locally assembled car under ₹1 crore, and that is doing extremely well for BMW. So BMW have kind of now established a niche for themselves. They are acknowledged as having that entry performance sedan. You think you can go after those volumes?
Why not? Bringing back the Octavia RS, that's also another foot in the door for us. I want to make it a roaring success, get a lot of interest into the car, and then maybe force the door open.
And what does the Octavia RS do for the Skoda brand in India?
No, I think it's very clearly something which defines our legacy. It is the most powerful Skoda worldwide. It is the pinnacle of Skoda's engineering. It does prove our credentials in terms of engineering strength, in terms of design, in terms of performance. So. And that very clearly flows into the products that we bring into India, whether it is the Kushaq, the Slavia, or the Kylaq. They basically come from the same DNA. So I think it's a ultimate pinnacle of the DNA that is there in all our cars.
Are sedans still relevant in India?
Very much. And I think it
The
saddens.
market doesn't show it.
Yeah, it saddens me. And I was having a conversation with another of your fellow colleagues yesterday. It saddens me because even if you today drive a sedan, there's a kind of a vicarious pleasure in it, which you don't get in an SUV. However equipped the SUV is, the sedans do give you that kind of a pleasure, which we are all used to. Which defines a quintessential car. So I think if you look at the wider sedan segment, it also has to do a lot with the lack of options. Yeah, for the simple reason that customers prefer higher seating positions right now. People do prefer a bolder stance on the roads. Parallelly, we as manufacturers also to blame a little bit because naturally from a business point of view, SUVs carry higher margins. So of course, when you have limited money to develop cars, you would always go towards cars which provide you a better business opportunity. So it's a combination of factors, and it's not only in India. Globally also, that's the trend we have seen. If I look at the global body style adoption, more than 60-65% is now SUVs. So it's a global trend. But it's a pity, that I do believe that sedans should be doing better. The Slavia is a very strong proof point of what a strong sedan can do.
Is there a hope that the Octavia RS will actually fuel more demand for your Slavia?
That's that's the thought.
How will you connect the two?
No, I think connections customers will make. I don't need to make those connections. Both the cars carry the similar design cues. They come from the same factory. Basically the same engineers designed those cars. The same TSI engine technology goes into it. The same DSG technologies goes into it. So I think lot of underpinnings which are similar.
The RS brand is coming back with the Octavia RS. Okay. Worldwide, Skoda also offers RS on other products. You have the Kodiaq RS, for instance. Do you see an opportunity for that?
By the way, I just drove it 1 week back. We had, I told you, the 130-year celebration. So we had a drive, and I absolutely loved that car. Yeah. So I think, along with pushing the Octavia brand, I also want to develop the RS brand in India. So maybe what you are saying could come true.
And why can it not come? Because, see, SUVs sell in India. If you look at Mercedes, BMW, the AMG SUVs, they are selling because you have that high seating position, you have the better ground clearance, that ability to tackle bad roads, plus you have the performance. The Urus is a classic case of performance SUVs that sell, and that is part of the group. You obviously know the numbers, you know how it is doing for the Lamborghini brand. The Kodiaq RS, to my mind, would be like a short success, or am I not seeing something?
No, I do believe that it will be a good success. At the end of the day, again, you have to be very prudent. That you actually take your bets a little bit carefully. I want to get those cars, but I don't want to overexpose those cars as well. I'm not being arrogant here. I know the size of the market. I know what volumes can create a kind of a positive demand. At the end of the day, if you have these cars standing in and you have to sell them with discount, then you're doing a disservice to these cars. So there's a fine balance that you need to strike, and that is what I'm trying to do.
Today is the 22nd of September. Today, the GST 2.0 went into force. It's 10:30 at night. You must have had a super packed day for you to come into our podcast studio at 10 o'clock at night. So, Ashish, thank you for that. I must ask you, what was today like for your sales team?
No, I think, it's not only about today, because what you see today is actually a culmination of what we have been preparing for the last 1 month. The last 1 month has been full of uncertainty. But, these are the times when you actually feel that you're doing something. Because these are new challenges. These are new things that you can work on. I always tell my team, it's not the regular work that makes leaders. It's times of uncertainty that makes leaders. It's our time to shine. It's our time to, actually take the lead and do something which you have not done before. So that's how it has been for the last 1 month, trying to anticipate what could happen, doing scenario planning, having all your backup plans ready and getting all your systems ready, getting your dealers ready, overcoming uncertainties and chatters around cess, GST, what will happen, demand will go up, this car will go down, this car will go up. So, lot to think about. This is what actually creates new neuron connections in your brain. So I absolutely love it. And today has been really I would say a proof point of the preparations we have done. And we sat down with all our management team today, and we were really happy with what we have done in the last 1 month. We are all geared up. We are all set. We have started the Skoda Fan Fest also from today. All our dealerships are ready to welcome customers. And I think it's a momentous occasion for the automobile industry.
Have you seen a huge, obviously, the past 1 month would have been a disaster, not just for you, but for the entire industry. Who in the right minds will buy it at a higher GST when there's a lower GST coming? But considering that, do you see a big uptick coming in volume with the GST 2.0?
But that's the hope, But if you look at it, Sirish, it's not that the automobile industry went to a standstill in the last 1 month. There are customers who have immediate needs, and manufacturers have also, and including us, we did roll out offers in the interim period to match the post-GST prices, because we knew that customers were hesitating. But at the same time, you have to keep the business running. I have almost 10,000 people working in my dealerships. I just cannot ask them to, stay at home. They need to be paid salaries. They need to work, and they need to work to create business which is coming up. Yeah. So we did roll out a lot of interim offers for customers to still keep on buying cars, and they did. If you look at the data in the month of September, yes, the automobile vehicle registrations went down by around 40%, but still, it's only 40%. It's not that it became zero. So yes, business still continue to happen. But as I said, these changes are momentous. Just to put things in perspective, I'm touching 50 now, and in my 50 years of being awake, I have never heard car prices going down. Yeah, first time I am actually witnessing car pricing going down by this extent. Yeah, that's the scale of what is happening around us. And I think it will be a failure of us as a businessman also if we do not use this opportunity. Customers are there. We have seen interest peaking. Walk-ins into showrooms have gone up by almost 25 to 30% in the last 15 days. I am hoping that with Navratras starting today, the bookings will go up. The first day's results are also good from our dealerships. Very, very, very good, footfall into the dealerships. Booking numbers are looking very, very good. So all signs point to a mega festive season.
You've not just reduced prices just for GST 2.0. You've in fact added some more support from your end. The Kodiaq, for instance. Now, you've got a fairly noticeable drop in the price.
Yeah.
Does that mean the Kodiaq, you already have discounts? It's a newish vehicle.
No, I don't think we have discounts on the Kodiaq as such. What we have done also is, I don't know whether you've noticed, today we have also launched a new variant of the Kodiaq called the Lounge, the 5-seater.
Yep.
And that starts at 39.99. So that's an entry point into the Kodiaq range. But it's the festive season, it is the nature of customers. And I am a customer myself as well. I want something on top of the pricing. Yeah. So in the festive season, you have to do it. Yeah. So from that perspective, we are rewarding, people who are upgrading to our cars with an exchange bonus. We are rewarding loyalty for customers who have a Skoda or a group brand in their family or want to buy another one. We are rewarding people from corporate sector, and of course we do have benefits on top of that as well. That's the festive season. That's how it is.
And that is playing into your hands. You are getting more customers. Will this be like your best ever year?
No, I think it has to be. It has to be the best year ever.
Especially since you have the Kylaq.
Yeah, it has to be. But having said that, I think everybody's fighting for the same customer, and the people who provide, or the brands that provide the best customer experience during this time will get that customer.
So you have the Kylaq. Last time when you were here, we spoke briefly about the Kylaq. That was new. Do you see the Kylaq eating into the Kushaq's market share? Because now you have enough data?
No, I think, at the lower end of the Kushaq, definitely I do see a little bit of overlap with the Kylaq, which is natural. When you have two cars standing in the showroom, one is a new baby, one is a little bit aging, car with an overlap on the lower variants of the Kushaq with the Kylaq's, middle and higher variants. It does affect you. But having said that, what we have also realized in the last 3 or 4 months is that the customer set for these two cars is very different. Yeah, Kylaq has more first-time buyers coming in. The demographics of the customers is much younger in the case of the Kylaq. Their sources of financing are very different from the sources of financing for Kushaq.
Like what? Can you explain that?
Kushaq and Slavia, typically I have seen better penetration from the business class.
Okay.
Yeah. So more cash buyers, larger percentage of their financing is their own funds. Yeah. But in the Kylaq segment, it is mostly, financed, fully financed cars and all. So there's a very, dynamic.
So more like a first-time buyer.
First-time buyers getting a taste of Skoda, So more people who are salaried, more people who are, professionals. So that's I think, quite a difference that we have found out in the customer profile. And that's the learning our dealerships are undergoing right now.
Okay.
You have to imagine they have never been in this segment before, right? So for them to differentiate between a Kushaq and Kylaq customer takes a little bit of time. And that realization has now started settling in. Which customer, is Kylaq, which customer is Kushaq, what to pitch to them, what is their needs, understanding their needs, what are their, motivations for buying a car, which kind of a car is suitable for them. Many customers in the Kylaq segment actually come into our showrooms wanting only a manual. Yeah, manual is what the first car has to be. That
and
is
better on fuel efficiency.
Better on fuel efficiency. These perceptions are there. So when they start taking a test drive of an automatic, especially in tier 2 and tier 3 towns, first of all, you get a kickback from their families itself. Automatic. Yeah, but once they've driven it, it's a revelation. It's a, eureka moment actually sometimes. And I have seen it practically happening in front of my cars. It's not that customers don't know about automatics. But typically it's like, okay, yaar, automatic nahi. I am not. But once they get into an automatic, and that too a torque converter automatic from Skoda, I think it's a eureka moment. Yeah. So that's a learning which is happening in our network, and networks learn very fast. And I hope by now they have learnt.
And now with GST 2.0, you also have the automatic Kylaq coming in at under 10 lakh rupees.
And we did the strategic pricing for that. By natural GST reduction, it wouldn't have been below 10 lakhs. So we did a little bit of a strategic pricing. We brought the Signature 80 to below 10 lakhs. So you have now a Skoda real automatic below 10 lakhs. Yeah. So which is a big one. Another thing which is, I think related to GST, the Kylaq now starts at 7.54. Yeah, a car like that starting at 7.54. The Slavia also we did strategic pricing. We have now dropped the prices or brought the prices of the Slavia starting from 9.99. There are a couple of other variants on the Slavia which are now at 14.99. So a little bit of strategic pricing we have done to get more customers in.
But Ashish, where is your Kushaq facelift? Isn't it high time you had a facelift on the Kushaq? How many years can you sell the same car? Especially when your rivals are doing product upgrades so quickly.
I know what you mean. I know, and I that's a pain that I also have. That's a pain that I always share with my development teams and project teams. That guys, it's been too much of a time gap for us. But it's not, Sirish, that we have not done anything on the Kushaq in the meantime. In the since the time of the launch, there have been many feature additions. There have been new variants that have been added. So there's been a lot done in the meantime. Unlike in the past when we had a car launch and for 4 years we basically did nothing. But for the Kushaq and for the Slavia in the last 3-4 years also, a lot has been done. But having said that, it is time for a facelift. And it's coming.
And time for a panoramic sunroof.
You're asking me the wrong question.
What do you see as the biggest thing that the Kushaq does not have? Like what your customers, obviously they are cross-shopping. They're going to other dealerships. They're seeing other cars. What is the one thing that they point out that...
I would rather speak about why are customers buying a Kushaq.
Okay, so why are customers buying a Kushaq?
So I think it's the fun to drive. It's just the driving dynamics. It's just the cocoon-like safety that this car offers. I've also got a lot of feedback from the customers in terms of the fuel efficiency they get on this car. Of course, there are always mixed opinions based on how you use it. But customers who know how to use TSI cars, turbocharged cars, I think the feedback has been very positive. So I think there's a lot of positives to talk about that car.
And why do customers come into a Skoda dealership against, say, a Maruti or a Hyundai? What is the draw for customers?
I think first of all a European brand. Yeah. So if I look at the biggest differentiator for us is European engineering, is safety, which is a given for any Skoda. The driving dynamics are the best in each of the segments we are present in. These are 3 or 4 attributes that stand very tall.
We talked about the Octavia RS. What about the regular Octavia? Is that coming?
Not at this moment. Yeah, I'm focusing on limited volume, performance-oriented versions, so that we keep the brand shining. And as I said before, I get this question like I used to get this earlier on another brand, the car.
But there with the Passat, you didn't have a sedan, right? You had the Estate.
Yeah.
So that was another challenge over there.
No, then your next question should not be Octavia, should be
We can
Superb.
talk about Superb. Yeah, I'm coming there.
One by one, Sirish.
But does that come back to that question that I asked earlier, that the sedan market is struggling in India?
It is, and again, I would say that if you look at worldwide, all the OEMs, maybe Skoda is the only OEM which still has a very strong portfolio of sedans. That is something which is still a very big part of Skoda's portfolio in Europe also and worldwide. So that way you're right that if somebody has to take the lead in reviving the sedan segment, it has to be us.
Will you be brave and experiment with an Estate? और किसी का हिम्मत नहीं है?
नहीं यार. It's not a bad car. It's a good-looking car, and I think last you were also there in IEA, Munich. Yeah. So you must have seen the vision. So Estate is big in Europe and all, but in India it has never worked.
And there's no point burning your fingers and trying something new.
I might get one for just trying for myself, but not in volumes. I would rather. We have so many other things to do.
What other things are planned?
I've told you so much, yaar.
No, you only talked about the Octavia RS.
I've spoken about the Octavia. You've spoken about the Kodiaq RS. You've asked me about
when the Kodiaq RS coming.
Maybe,
yeah. What's happening with your Monte Carlo line?
In what sense?
You just had with your 25th year anniversary celebrations, you had special editions of that. Yeah. Are you going to be doing performance upgrades to the Monte Carlo line to connect with what Monte Carlo actually is?
I think the Monte Carlo, if anything, is already a performance-oriented version. The Monte Carlo comes on the 1.5 with the DSG. The 1.5 is one of the best engines in the Volkswagen Group's portfolio. Yeah. So I think Monte Carlo is on the 1.5.
We spoke about this in the past when you were on the other side of the corporate
of the office.
Right? And we spoke about how Volkswagen with the GT and that positioning, it really helped because GT was positioned as a more sporty variant of the regular Volkswagens, whereas Monte Carlo wasn't really differentiated strong enough. How do you address that?
I think there are a lot of things in works. Yeah, so I know that Monte Carlo is again a strong batch that we should focus on. At the end of the day, what establishes a brand or a sub-brand is consistency. If anything, we have been guilty of not being consistent or doing justice to the Monte Carlo brand. We have not been anal enough to stick to what Monte Carlo should be. And I think that is something which I want to change. It's in the works.
Okay, Superb. Where's the diesel Superb? Your predecessor announced a diesel Superb before leaving.
Yeah, so that's the right word, predecessor. Yeah, so I have not announced it. Yeah, so I think as I said, the idea would be to get these global icons one by one into India. Don't want to overspread ourselves. We have a lot on our plate. We want to make sure that we keep giving little doses of our global portfolio to people who love our cars. And with that endeavor, Octavia RS, you spoke about the Kodiaq RS, maybe, yes.
Diesel Superb, does it have a market?
Why not? Yeah, it definitely could have a market, and I think that's a fantastic car once again. I am a little bit relatively new to the Skoda world, but I think Superb is again something which defines Skoda. So definitely it's not off the radar. It's not off the table at all, but at the right time.
Yeah. Diesel still relevant in India?
I think the market dynamics do show it is relevant, yes.
Skoda right now is a one fuel brand, petrol only. You don't have CNG either. You don't have EVs either. Let's start with CNG. Is this something that you are focusing on?
I think the biggest potential for CNG could be in the Kylaq segment. You know, the A00 SUV segment is almost 18 to 19% CNG. So that is something which I think as a company we have to very seriously look at, and we are looking at it. Unfortunately, or technically for us, the point is that right now in our portfolio we have a 1 liter TSI engine. And integrating it with a suitable CNG option is a little bit more technically challenged than mating it with a naturally aspirated engines. So that's why it takes a little bit of time for us to get that kind of a combination going. But I think if we have to grow the volumes of the Kylaq down the life cycle, CNG has to be on the table.
And EV?
EV, I think we have spoken enough about it. EV projects are underway. We always have the option of bringing FBUs, Enyaq or the Elroq. But again, the landscape in terms of policies, under what scheme do you bring it, whether it will be relevant. And I think the whole EV story has also a little bit taken a backseat, in the Indian market as well. It has gone down a little bit. So I think FBUs bringing to India is a relatively easy and short-term option, but even to implement that short-term option, you need the other half of the bridge, which is the localized EV product. I think that is the priority for us as a group to lock that in, to bring that in, and once that is locked in, then you look at bridging.
Do you see EVs as a priority for Skoda in India, or right now, no?
No, from a midterm and portfolio point of view, EVs have to be a strong part of your portfolio. Definitely, there's no question about it.
But aren't you like little behind the curve, or just better late than never? Just bring it when you can.
No, I think if you look at it, Sirish, there's no good time or bad time. You could have brought an EV 3 years back, and I remember 3 years back also we were talking about let's get EVs now. In 2025, 26, the EV market is going to be 10%, 15%. Has it reached that? No. It's still at 3.5%, 4%. Now with these GST reductions and the gap between EVs and IC vehicles going down, you never know. I do see that there will be a change in segmentation and dynamics once again. So I think it all depends on what point of time are you discussing it. It may seem relevant or pertinent to bring that at that point of time, but hindsight is always 2020.
Of course.
But I am glad that today we are sitting in a place where we at least now know that there will be a little bit of policy stability, at least in terms of taxation. And once you have that kind of clarity, how the segments will move, how the market dynamics will change, how much ICE, how much BEV. I think the market has also gathered a lot of experience on EVs. What body styles work in EVs, what kind of ranges work in EVs. So that is a learning which I think will help us in our plans.
What is your thought on hybrids?
Again, I think as an interim technology, definitely something which is worth looking at.
Though with GST 2.0, there are no real benefits for hybrids.
No.
In fact, it's the other way around. So does it make sense looking at it, or?
See, again, no. These are very difficult choices, Sirish. At the end of the day, you have limited resources. You have a portfolio that you want to implement. You want to implement a large portfolio. You want to implement n number of powertrain choices in that. But the pool that you have is limited. The kind of investments you have. So you have to pick winners. Not many manufacturers in this world right now have the luxury of having their feet in everything. You have to pick your horses. And I think that's what the hesitation in all OEMs has been over the last 3 years. Which horses to choose? Some of them choose, or some of us choose EV as the main horse. It didn't run as it was supposed to. Some people chose hybrid. That also didn't run as they expected. So these are very transitional times, and when you are in a period of transition, it takes a little bit of time for trends to emerge. And I think another couple of years, the trends will be very clear of which way to go.
Let's talk about some other vehicles in your global portfolio. You have the Elroq. You have the Enyaq. Now, Enyaq, I think that has been put on the back burner. But the Elroq as a successor to the Kylaq, you had it in limited numbers and that did well. Is this something that is on the agenda?
No, not the Kylaq, but the Elroq is something which I'm looking at as a CBU, as an FBU. Definitely, but as I said, for me, the important thing is to lock in the second leg of the important pillar of electrification, which has to be the local EV.
Is SUVs going to be your prime focus?
I think so. It makes sense. But having said that, we will not lose focus on the Slavia, and we will continue to bring some of the sedans from our global portfolio.
Why is the Slavia not the best-selling sedan in its segment?
It will be soon.
Yeah. What action do you have on the Slavia front?
What action in terms of product or what? No, I think
company?
in line with what we are going to do on the Kushaq, we are also going to bring upgrades on the Slavia, which is very natural. It's a very strong car. The body style, the construction of that car, the styling of that car, the interiors of that car, the features in that car are very contemporary. It's no way an aged car. Even today, when you sit in a Slavia, you really do feel you are in a premium and luxury car with all the creature comforts. So definitely it's not aged to the extent that you say that it needs a major upgrade now. But having said that, times move on, technology moves on, customer expectations move on, and you have to continuously upgrade.
You talked about the Octavia RS community, but the overall Skoda community also. You're doing a lot of work in the fans of Skoda arena. Talk us through that.
No, I think that's been a very, very big focus area for us this year, and our entire customer engagement and communication strategy is built around fans. Fans of Skoda. We're doing virtually one drive or one activation virtually every week. In cities like Hyderabad, Chandigarh, Mumbai, Pune, you have these communities everywhere whom we are bringing together along with our dealers, taking them around, getting that kind of a bonding together. And I think this is a very big activity in India right now. People want to be together. People want to experience something which is planned for them and have that kind of a camaraderie. So that Fans of Skoda is going very well. We carried it forward into our Fans Not Owners campaign, which is running right now, under which we did the Doda film, which you would have seen. So a lot lined up. Now we are starting from today the Skoda Fan Fest. So the entire theme or the flavor of the season for us is fans.
Yeah. Recently, the Skoda India Instagram account got hacked. That was the googly, right? What was the thinking behind that?
No, I think we just wanted to create some buzz. Looking at Skoda from the most innocent of fans' eyes, a child. So that was the whole idea, that how can you create buzz.
When this idea was pitched to you, what was your first reaction?
No, I think, I loved the idea, definitely.
You didn't have like the first reaction like, are you gone mad?
No, of course, I loved the idea, but I couldn't say it out loud to my team because I needed to make sure that the Doda word is, CI compliant and we will not have any issues and all. So, of course, that is my sane mind, the sane part of my mind that also has to think about it. But from an idea point of view, I think that's the best way to get emotions into your brand. Getting children associated to it, just the unfiltered, raw love that you can imagine.
What is the Skoda India network looking like? Have you been on a massive network expansion
No, it has been. I think if you look at it, end of last year, we were at around 220 touch points. In the last 8 or 9 months itself, we have added 90 touch points more. Most of it in tier 2 and tier 3 towns, while also putting more touch points in cities like Pune and all. So it's been a massive activity. It's not only about physical infrastructure you're creating, it's also about the soft power you're bringing into those dealerships. I mean manpower, new people joining your network who need to understand the brand DNA, who need to understand what matters for Skoda's customers. So it's been a huge learning curve for the entire network, and we are still not there, to be honest. It takes 6 months to 1 year for new people and new network partners to become embedded with you, to get that kind of a comfort level with you, to know and move in the same direction together with you. So that's the journey we are on. To help in that, we've had a lot of engagement activities, a lot of conferences at all levels, whether it is from service advisors to sales consultants to dealer principals, a lot of hand holding at their dealerships through our coaching programs, so a lot of reward programs to get them connected to the brand. So these are things that you have to anyway do to get that cohesiveness in your network.
COVID and post-COVID, the whole world was talking about digital, that we're going to go digital. Now everybody's talking about network expansion and how super important that is. That whole digital thing is over?
No, I don't think. I think digital, 5 or 6 years ago, digital was something which you had to put on top. Yeah, it is not that. Digital has to be part of everything that you do. It is not something that you put on top and things fly. It is embedded into every process, every interaction, every transaction. It is the lifeblood of the organization. That is the realization that has set in the last 5 years, that it is not a tool that you import and things start happening. It is the business itself.
Is digital going to be the way that you're going to be selling the Octavia RS? Is it going to be like
yes, it is going
only
to be,
on the website?
It is going to be exclusively online. Yes.
Why is that?
In what sense? Why?
No, why exclusively online?
I think that's the best way to approach customers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wouldn't a customer want to maybe come and first see the car at the dealership, or you're banking on the reputation of the Octavia RS?
I think the volumes I'm talking about and the community, the customers I'm speaking to, I think if somebody wants to buy an Octavia and then ask at the dealership kitna deti hai, then I think we have lost it.
Skoda and service, it's still a big work in progress?
It is, and it will continue to be. I'll tell you why, because network is expanding. I would say the pace at which we are expanding and the pace at which we are stabilizing our network, the pace of stabilization is now more. Yeah. So we will soon reach a place where we will have a very consistent, good service experience across the dealerships. Having said that, I have seen a dramatic improvement in our service standards, in our service rates to the dealerships in terms of part supplies, in terms of turnaround times at the dealerships. A lot of sensitivity and lot of sensitization in the network on customer focus. But this is a relentless job, Sirish. It is, you reach one level, customer expectations move to the next level, and you have to continuously up your game. Are we there yet? I would say we are quite far ahead in our journey from where we were. Are we perfect? No way. Nobody can claim to be perfect. You have to continuously be evolving, but that's the effort.
Parts prices, service costs, are they in line with the class benchmarks?
Oh, definitely. And I think that's a pleasant surprise for customers who are coming in to the Skoda network now. Today, we have this 1-year Supercare package complimentary on all our cars. Your first paid service is after 30,000 kilometers. And that too, when you do your service at 30,000 kilometers, it's bloody 7.5, 8,000 rupees. Which is nothing. Compared to even a smaller car than the Kylaq, the service costs are much cheaper. So that's a pleasant surprise. I think there are a lot of perceptions that our service costs are expensive. They are no longer expensive, and customers are talking about it. Customers are vouching for it, and I think this word will spread.
Yeah. And finally, we started off talking about the Octavia RS. We should end with the Octavia RS launching towards the end of September. Cars will be on the road by probably October?
No, I think we will be starting with the pre-bookings opening on the 3rd of October.
Okay.
And we start deliveries towards first week of November.
First week of November, the Octavia RS will be on the road. What is the one thing you're looking forward to with the Octavia RS?
No, I'm just looking at the venue where I'm going to drive and be in that flying zone.
Thank you, Ashish. Look forward to driving the Octavia RS with you very soon, and maybe on a runway, low-flying aircraft. Really look forward to driving the car, and that's an icon. That's the performance cars that we've all grown up with, and it's great that you're bringing it back. Let's see what the pricing is. That's obviously going to be the key question, but you also have experience with the Golf GTI, so I'm sure the pricing will be on the money. So look forward to that, and thank you guys for listening and watching the podcast. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments and we'll get Ashish and his team to look into it, answer those questions.
Just don't ask me for an Octavia RS. Huh?
No?
It's sold out.
No, honestly, seriously, already enough expressions of interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the power of the brand, I guess.
It is.
All the best, Ashish.
Thank you.
And look forward to talking to you at the next media drives.
Yes, let's do that. Right? Thank you.
Thank you, Ashish.